the podcast to fill my brain. Movies and Task, Reddit, Minute of Sports, betting $1 and Joel the Game, Quora and questions from real listeners, all that and more on Joel the Podcast. Bzz. Hello everybody, I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex.
Oh, hold on, I gotta get my earbuds. Otherwise everything you say is gonna be on my audio.
Well, this is definitely the start of the episode, no matter what happens. We might do the intro again, but this is staying in
Wait,
for sure.
Are you saying this is staying in?
Yeah. We can do the intro again, that's fine, but don't buzz, because then I might get confused. We'll just do the rest of the intro.
Okay. Oh gosh. Are you sure you want to keep this in? This is really not interesting podcasting.
We're gonna definitely make up for it with the rest of the episode.
Can't wait.
Yeah. This is gonna be a good one. I can feel it. We're just building
couldn't connect.
suspense.
My favorite. Bluetooth settings.
Oh man! Imagine if you just were able to like plug your headphones in with a cord. Wouldn't that be convenient?
Yeah. Too bad that technology doesn't exist yet. Can't wait till they invent that.
True. Right now you're stuck plugging it in over air, which is notoriously unreliable at conducting sound.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. You sound worse now.
I know. Sorry. Actually,
That's right. You
able
sound the same to the listeners, which is all that really matters.
I should be able to change to just my computer microphone. Why can I not change my microphone?
I don't think it's that important to spend more time.
No,
during
it's
the episode.
very important. Listen, you can edit this out if you don't care, but oh,
you know what?
gosh.
I deeply care. You're right. I think this needs to be in there for the record. We're authentic podcasters.
I can only choose my. Wait. Okay, how's that?
That sounds like it did before, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right.
Actually, that is
We're good.
That is better.
We're good to go.
I appreciate this.
I have everything pulled up.
Great.
All right.
So do I.
And let me go back to my recorder, which is still what? Okay. All right, here we go.
Yep.
Hello, everybody. I'm Alex.
That threw me way off because you didn't. I know I said not to do the buzz, but I think we got to do it. I freaked out.
Are you shitting me?
I just panicked. Blind terror.
All right. Are you ready now?
Yeah, for sure.
Bzz. Hello, everybody. I'm Alex.
And I'm Alex.
And this is our podcast, Joel. Well, welcome to episode 124 of Joel the Podcast.
And what an episode it's been.
Yeah, how long was that? 3.5 minutes? Not too bad.
Hey, you know what? This is episode 124, and we're recording this on 12/4.
Wow. What a monumental episode this is.
That's absolutely monumental.
You know what this means, right?
Yes. Let's say it at the same time.
All right, on the count of 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. From now until the end of the year, we have to record one episode a day so that it lines up with the date.
It lines up with the date. Wow. It's only going to work until December 10th. Well, it's going to work until December 9th, and then it's going to break
before
on
December 10th. Yeah. That's disappointing. We'll just have to record like 900 episodes on December 9th.
Oh, man. You know what? For the bit, I am prepared to record an episode every day until December 9th. I am not certain about recording over 1,000 episodes so that we get to episode 1210 on the 10th. Not going to commit to that one unless we receive some really enthusiastic emails from our listeners.
Which we almost certainly won't receive until after the 10th because this episode won't be posted.
Precisely.
All right. Let's get into the episode. I wanted to begin by just letting everyone know that Nathan does not owe me $1.
And Alex does not owe me $1. So, congratulations to us.
Yes, well done. Let's do the Sports Minute. You want to get your 1 minute timer ready?
I forgot that's my job now. Here I was thinking of things to say during the Sports Minute earlier today, instead of doing what I'm meant to do, which is pull up a 1 minute timer.
Get a 1 minute timer.
Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
All right, here we go.
Did you think of anything to say?
Yeah, I was going to say that just this past weekend, Purdue football got its second win of the season because they fired their head coach after a 1-11 season.
Did you see the? I did not see any of the Indiana game. I'm sure you didn't either.
No,
but I did. You see the score and the box score?
I did, and all I can say is that we'll get them next year.
Truly one of the worst box scores I have ever seen. If you didn't see it, the final score was 66-0. Purdue lost to Indiana.
Yep.
Indiana had over 500 yards. Purdue had like 60-something.
67, because we had just more yards than Indiana had points.
Yep, there you go. Purdue had 5 turnovers.
Yep.
So, yeah, truly really one of the worst games that I did not see the game, but truly one of the worst box scores I've ever seen.
Yep. Glad we spent the entire Sports Minute on that.
It honestly deserved it because of how bad it was.
Memorializing that one in podcast lore forever.
Yeah. Okay. Did we receive any emails this week?
You know what? Let me open up the email.
Man, you are really unprepared today.
I
didn't come prepared with enough questions for the game show. Didn't open up the 1 minute timer. Didn't open up the email beforehand. Yeah. I hope you lose some Jolo points for this.
Yeah, I think we need an update on that. I think it's been a while. I was going to say I feel like it's been a while, but I'm now looking at the email, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm missing something, if I am missing something, dock me some more Jolo points. But unless I am missing something, the most recent rating update came to us in 2022. So it's over 2 years outdated by now.
The most recent what? Oh, Jolo rating update. Got it.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Did we receive any emails?
We, in fact, did receive an email.
Excellent.
This email comes to us from Cephalopod Master. The subject line is, I am a dumbass. Cephalopod says, Hello, Alex and Alex at Joel the Podcast. I am sending this email because YouTube recommended me to watch your episode 122 because I am subscribed to your channel. This is in response to us asking people to explain. So this is certainly one of the more obvious explanations we could have received, but we do appreciate you sending it.
Yes, thank you for the email. And I'm sure, is this the only thing in the email?
There's one more line here. I want the Who Are Alex and Alex episode that you pitched in episode 122.
Okay, remind me what that was.
I think it's an episode where we talk about ourselves and reveal our backstory and stuff for people who don't know. The point being that we had been emailed by somebody who didn't know who we were, and so we were like, well, I guess we could just make an episode about it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we can discuss that. I'm not totally opposed to that.
Sure.
But also, David does know who we are, so why?
Yeah, but does David really know who we are? I feel
no, but
I feel like there's about 20 years of backstory that David doesn't really have on my life, right?
No, and I feel like David hardly knows anything about my life since college. So, right. And I don't know how much he knows about your life since college, but yeah. So there's stuff there. All right. Well, we'll discuss, and we will let you know our conclusion. Thank you for the email, Cephalopod, as always. Oh, and yeah. Anyway, that point is long gone. All right. Did you have any comments on the email?
No, just yeah, great email. I hope to receive some others like it from some of our other listeners.
Yes, and if you would like to send us an email, please, our email address can be found on our website, which is alexandalex@joelthepodcast.github.io/alexandalex@joelthepodcast.website/index.html. And if you've never tried saying that website out loud, please try it. It's like literally one of the weirdest things to where like you don't think about having to take a breath beforehand, but you're getting to the end and you're like, I wish I had taken a breath beforehand. It's not like natural to stop and take a breath during it. I know I've said this all before, but
yeah.
Anyway, so go to our website, click on something, find our email address.
Yeah.
Or just look in the YouTube description like some other people.
Yeah, clicking a link in the YouTube description is a little complicated. That's why we made the website URL
right,
so
the website for ease of use,
easy to remember and type and whatnot. But
Yeah.
I just remembered actually something that I'm working on, and I think we talked about it briefly during our last call, but I don't know that it made it into the episode at all. This is very rare for the podcast. I don't think this has ever happened before, but I'm going to do a little bit of self-promotion to our audience, something that I did and not us, the podcast.
Well, I'm sure that just by knowing me, that like helped you do this, right?
Yeah, I mean, you were 100% the complete inspiration, and I certainly would not have had the
will to live.
the will to live. Since mentioning this idea to you, I've fed off of your mild response to it as my motivation to actually see this project through to the end. So anyway, this is all a long preamble to tell you about my new website. And I'm sorry, the URL is pretty long and hard to remember. So I apologize for this, but of course it was a cheap one that I could find, to purchase. It's called worldscoolestbalcony.com. If you go to worldscoolestbalcony.com, you will just simply see the world's coolest balcony. So yeah, we'll give Alex
just for the record, it's your balcony, right?
I didn't want to spoil it.
Or some other balcony that's actually the actual world's coolest balcony.
That would be pretty funny if I bought the URL and then just sent it to some other thing. But yeah, it is a slight spoiler for the listeners if you haven't managed to reach the website yet. But it is a picture of my balcony. It's a very recent picture of my balcony. In fact, no matter when you visit the website, because I have a camera now suction cupped to my balcony door, taking a picture every 15 minutes.
It's dark.
Yes, it's nighttime here.
Do you not have lights out there yet?
There aren't. I assume you're talking about Christmas lights. I haven't put up the decorations yet. They'll go up by this weekend at the latest, so it'll be a lot more interesting to look at when this episode actually goes out. Unless it's been so long that I've taken the Christmas lights down.
Yeah. Which is not outside the realm of possibility.
Yeah. But yeah, all the decorations should go up this weekend if you want to check back in. The whole reason that I created this website, which I think I mentioned briefly to you last week, but just for some background for all the listeners, is to share my Christmas decorations with the family. And I figured as long as I was already creating a, website to put whatever on, I might as well turn it into a fun little, Raspberry Pi project. And I've been having some fun making time-lapse videos out of these every 15 minutes pictures. So yeah, look out for some more content released by me in some form in the future as I continue to work on this project. And let me know if you have any ideas for the website, because it's right now very, very basic, which I'm pretty pleased with. I don't want to make it some crazy, thing, but
you should get a life-size cardboard cutout of yourself and put it on your balcony.
That's actually a really good idea, because the basic photo, especially when it's dark, is not that interesting.
Yes.
So yeah, it would be
The most
fun,
interesting
I think,
thing
to
I can
have.
see in this picture is that black thing and lamp that I can actually see behind you in the Skype right now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I can see in the picture as well. So.
I could put the cardboard cutout like in the window here. That might be.
Well, you wouldn't be
'cause
able
then
to see
wouldn't-
it during the day, probably.
Yeah, we'd have to test. Because I'd be a little bit worried about the longevity of it, keeping it outside year round. But yeah, we would want to make sure that it was.
Well, here's the thing. Like, okay, so during COVID, this is now a further tangent than probably we anticipated. But during COVID, when in baseball they couldn't have fans in the stands,
Right.
they allowed all the season ticket holders to send in a picture, and they made cardboard cutouts and of the pictures and put them in the stands.
Yeah.
And obviously those were outdoors just all the time, like they weren't taking them down or anything. So obviously there are cardboard cutouts you can get that are outdoor rated.
There are
So-
quality enough printers that can. Cardboard cutouts for outdoor use. AdvancedGraphics.com. If they can't do it, I don't know who could. These are actually kind of expensive, but I think the joke is worth it.
100%. Just as worth it as doing 900 podcast episodes in a day.
Yep.
All right, we could instead do like 200 every day between now and then, and just like obviously that would break up the joke for the other episodes.
As
So
in,
maybe we shouldn't do that.
like, record them out of order because, of course, 125 has to
Yeah.
happen tomorrow and 126
Right.
the following day. So
That's a good point. Never mind. Okay.
I'm sure we'll work it out.
Yeah. Well, thank you for promoting your website, The World's Coolest Balcony. I'm sad that you didn't use any of my names that I suggested for the website. Not that I can remember what any of them were anymore, but I'm sure they were funny.
Yeah, I felt like this name, worldscoolestbalcony.com, was kind of a balance between what you suggested to me, which were very, like, funny, not relevant to my... Not reflective of reality kind of names, versus what Shelby suggested, which was, like, pictureofbalcony.com or something very straightforward and factual, right?
I'm sure that wasn't actually it, but I
No,
understand what you're saying.
It wasn't. She was very practical with naming,
Mhm.
and you were being very entertaining. So I felt like World's Coolest Balcony strikes a reasonable balance between those two.
Right.
I'd say.
And I feel like, what was I going to say? Oh, I feel like that's like a metaphor for how you are really like a result of the two most important people in your life, me and Shelby. You're like a balance between us.
Yeah, I don't really have independent thoughts or actions. I just kind
Right.
of meld together what you two would be like
Exactly.
and do that. So
Yes.
yeah, great point as always.
Thank you.
What are we going
all
to do
right.
this week?
Yeah, we should probably actually get to the episode. So if you listened to our last episode, you heard us create a game show. And we spent a actual fair bit of time off the air afterwards working on the rules and such of the game show. And today we are going to be playing the game show. Now, interestingly, I don't really think game show is an appropriate term for what we're going to be doing, but it's kind of game showy, so we're calling it Joel the Game Show.
I feel like if it was on a TV set, it would easily be a game show, right? Like you could make it a game show.
Yeah. Okay, sure. So Nathan, why don't you just go over the rules in case the listeners forgot, or if we changed anything since the last episode, because I don't really remember exactly what we changed or not.
Yeah,
So
that's true. So here's the gist. Alex and I are going to take turns giving each other a series of 5 clues in order to guess a secret noun that we've each come up with. Each of these clues is going to start off very vague and slowly get more and more specific until we reach a point where basically after the 5th clue, you should be able to get it no matter what. So along the way, we're each going to be betting from a pool of $100 per round on how confident we are we're going to get the answer correct. And the sooner you get the answer correct, the higher the multiplier of your bet is. So the idea is you're trying to balance between like confidence that you're going to get it right while also wagering enough on a given round that it's worthwhile for you to be correct, and also leaving yourself enough money in your pool that you will have enough to bet on subsequent rounds where you're more and more likely to get it right.
Yep.
So that's kind of the general gist of the game. But we couldn't just make it a straight up like quiz show back and forth. We have to inject some of the trademark Joel the Game modifier card energy. And that's where we came up with this cool idea.
This is really cool. You guys are going to love this.
I'm a huge fan of this. And I think the thing that really sells it as an idea is the name that we came up for, for it.
I think that this is one of the best original thoughts that I've ever had. Or I don't know if you had it. One of us has ever had.
Genuinely, I cannot think of a better game show associated thing that we could have come up with, and to have it named this as a totally original thought is just kind of mind blowing. So I don't know. Do you want to count us down, and then we'll say it. We'll reveal it together in the way we were.
Here we go. Ready?
Yep.
It's called 3, 2, 1. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow, I'm sure that was that'll be actually synchronized in the recording.
Deliberately make it sound like trash. So it's more realistically, I'm going to forget that we did that, and I'm going to sync up the Joels at the beginning and the end, and then that's just going to be whatever it's going to be.
Are you going to sync up the first Joel or the second Joel?
I always sync up the first Joel, and that's the...
No, sorry, the first Joel at the beginning or the second Joel at the beginning?
Oh, that's a good point. I guess it doesn't matter that much.
Probably not.
Probably the second one, I guess, because it's
the second one. If the first one sounds like shit, then that's okay because that's like our practice run. Yeah.
Right,
okay. Right. Anyway, yes. So essentially, what the Wheel of Fortune is, it is a wheel of fortune. It's a wheel that you can pay $5 to spin it. And the wheel has 100 individual potential effects, unique effects,
right?
That it could have on the clue. And the distribution of the effects are distributed between being really good, for example, getting an additional $100 to potentially bet, not potentially bet, to bet, to really bad, like it can actually hurt you, not really bad, but like bad, it can actually hurt you. For example, subtracting money. And basically from what I just said, you might be like, so it just adds or subtracts money? No, obviously there's 100 unique items, so there's some very creative things on here.
Right.
Some of them might be kind of dumb. We have 5 items on here that we categorized as wild, which means they might be extremely helpful or they might be extremely unhelpful, depending upon the situation.
Right.
So we're not going to tell any of you. We're not going to tell you any of them in advance, besides the 2 that I already said. But I think that's going to be part of the fun of it. Is that when some people spin this wheel, you're probably going to hear a new item for at least the first 15 to 20 times, more than likely.
Yeah.
And you can buy a second wheel spin in the same round, but it costs $50 instead of $5. So the first wheel spin you buy costs $5. So we expect that each of us is probably going to buy a wheel spin at least one wheel spin every round. But then the second wheel spin costs $50, so it's probably not going to happen in normal circumstances since you only have 100 total dollars to bet.
Right.
And then once you get the question right, you get the amount that you bet multiplied by the multiplier for that question. And then you also get any remaining money that you hadn't bet just at a 1 times multiplier. So, for example, if it's question 3 and I have $50 left, and because I bet the other $50 on the first 2 clues, and I bet $25 and I get it right, the multiplier for clue number 3 is 20 times. So I would get 20 times 25, which is 500. And then I would also get the original remaining $25. And just for the record, the multipliers are 2,000 for clue 1, which is almost impossible to get. 200 for clue number 2, 20 for clue number 3, 2 for clue number 4, and 1/2 for clue number 5. So, yeah. And everything else is basically we'll handle. I don't really think we need to announce it. It'll be kind of obvious. Our original intention was to play the game over 7 rounds. However, Nathan only came up with 6 questions, so we'll be playing the game over 6 rounds today.
Calling me out.
Yeah, calling you out. Sorry. And and we'll use the length, however long it takes to play 6 rounds, to determine how many rounds we should play in the future.
Right.
Okay. Anything else to add before we get started?
I don't think so. If anything else comes up, I guess we'll explain it as we go. But that should get people pretty familiar. And who's going first here?
I don't have a preference. Do you have a preference?
On the spreadsheet, your name is on top. Does that mean that this is you giving the question or you receiving the question?
Well, everything on top is for me guessing, right? So,
all right. So I will give you clue 1 for round 1 if we're ready to begin.
All right. And I make my wager after you give the clue, right?
Oh, yeah. We should mention the order of operations. We should probably just note this in the spreadsheet.
No, I don't think we need to say it, because that's kind of part of what I was saying is everyone will just figure it out. We don't need to announce that beforehand. Of course, now we spent more time discussing whether we should say it than just saying it. But
were you genuinely asking me, or what was?
I was confirming. Yeah, I was confirming.
Yeah, so you can choose to
Yes.
buy a spin before you hear the clue. Then once you're ready for the clue, I'll give it to you. Then
Yep.
we'll apply the effect of the spin. Then you make your bet. Then you make your guess.
Great. Okay, I'm not going to buy a spin on the first one.
Okay. So
And just for the listeners, the spins mainly just affect, most of them just affect the current guess that you're on. And for clue number 1, you have an extremely low chance of getting it right. So it's probably not a great idea to buy a spin on the first. It'll probably be mostly bought on clues 3 or 4 is my guess. All right, go ahead.
Right. All right. So here we go. Question 1, clue 1. I was born in 1994.
Okay, that's a great clue because it tells me it's probably a person, although I don't know that for sure. But I think for now I can assume it's a person. Okay, so it's not you because you were not born in 1994.
Yes.
But it's someone.
While you're
who's
thinking,
only-
I'm gonna mention that we have phrased our clues, or I imagine you still did this because this is what we were doing, phrasing all of our clues as if we are the thing in question. So that's
right.
that's
So it's
just
like
the format
it's like
of the clue.
who or what am I or where
Yes.
am I is like
Yes.
it's like the question. So there's no actual questions. That's like the assumed question for all of them.
Yes.
All right. First of all, I'm just gonna bet $1 since I know I'm not gonna get it here.
Excellent.
And I will go with Billie Eilish.
It is not Billie Eilish. I think she's quite a bit younger than that.
Okay, I know she's in the roughly our age.
Yeah.
So, all right.
All right. Well, reasonable guess. Question
Someone who's
1,
30.
clue 2 is I am not one person.
Not one person. Okay. So it could be a band, I guess. Born would be an interesting thing to say for that, or really any group. It doesn't also have to be a group of people. It could be, or even a person. Like it could be an animal technically, because that would fit that clue. I am not one person. But I'm gonna for now assume that it's not a trick. and I'm going to go with a group. And what group was formed in 1994? That I really don't know. Probably a group that was popular in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Did you make a wager before you say this?
Oh, thank you. I will wager $1 again.
Okay, great. Love it.
I will guess the Backstreet Boys.
It is not the Backstreet Boys.
Oh,
But
I really
congratulations
thought you...
on another very reasonable guess. I'm liking where you're thinking, because it's not the correct answers. All right, here we go. Question 1, round clue 3.
Actually, I'm going to stop you right there.
Yep.
I'm going to buy a spin.
Oh, all right. Should have been asking that all along. So let's pull up the Wheel of
Fortune.
Yeah.
Okay, that was synchronized to me, but I'm sure it won't be on the recording.
Yep.
All right, here we go. I'm spinning the wheel.
All right.
And I got opponent steals $1.
Excellent. So I have.
So
now...
I have no I have no money. So how can you steal $1?
This is something that we didn't establish. Is can you go negative?
We immediately first spin came up against a rule that we hadn't decided on.
Yeah. What an edge case to hit right away. I personally am in favor of negative amounts.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
All
right, I'm putting my total score to -1.
Yeah.
And I'm putting your total score to 1.
Perfect. Love that.
All right. Now read the clue.
All right, clue number 3. You are very familiar with what I sound like.
Okay. That encourages me that it's a band. Or group. Yeah, probably a band. See, it still could be some, like, non-human thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could have used born in a more metaphorical way, like, I don't know, invented, essentially. But very familiar. I'm still thinking band. I'm gonna still stick with a band. I don't really know what band I'm very familiar with. That was born in 1994. There's a train honking outside my apartment. I wonder if you can hear that on the audio. Wow. Born in 1994. Not one person. Alright, I'm gonna bet like $5.
Good bet. Strong bet.
Thank you. I was born in 1994. I'm not one person. I am very familiar with what it's... Can you read that again? I'm very familiar with what?
You're very familiar with what I sound like.
What I sound like. Let's go with NSYNC.
Very similar to the last guess, which I like, but it's not NSYNC.
I'm sure it's not. I don't think I'm in the right vein, but I just can't think of what else to guess.
Yeah, maybe this will help you out here. Would you like to buy another spin?
No, I'm not buying another spin.
All right. Then question 1, clue 4 is, one of my names is a body part.
Excuse me. Okay. Body part.
Yes.
Interesting. Arm, ear, eye, nose, mouth, leg. Okay, still makes me think it still makes me think it's a band. One of my names. I assume that just means like one of the words in my name. One of my names is a body part. Okay, I'm really sorry, but I have to pee. And I can't think while I have to pee. So I'm going to go pee and be right back.
Wow, that's... we're going to our first commercial break. This podcast game show exclusive is brought to you by Randy the Reindeer. Randy the Reindeer, he is now reinflated. Come see him on worldscoolestbalcony.com starting December 7th, probably. This podcast is also brought to you by the bottle of water on my desk. It is a reusable water bottle full of water and ice, and it is insulated, and it is keeping my water cold. I'm not giving you the brand name because they are not actually sponsoring us. This is a fake ad. Let's see. Did Alex say something? Did you say something?
Sorry, I forgot that I was on my computer speaker, so I thought you would still be able to hear me because of my earbuds. You didn't tell the audience who Randy is.
No, but I think that's too much of a tangent. We could get into that next episode if people email and are curious.
Great.
But they may also be able to check the website and see it from context. Yeah, so for you,
it's a body part in the name.
Welcome back from our commercial break. One of my names is a body part.
It's weird wording, one of my names. I still think that just means one of the words in my name. And I still think it's a band, but I am struggling to think of any band that has a body part in the name. Finger, toe, hand. This is an interesting problem with this game show. Is you might get to a point where you can't think of a single thing that fits all the
clues. That's what clue number 5 is for. That's the one that should bring it home.
Exactly.
At the cost of half of your dollars that you were forced to bet on that clue.
I feel really bad, but just in the interest of podcasting, I think that I just have to bet $1 on this and pass because I don't want to spend 10 minutes sitting here thinking of what it is.
Yeah, you know what? So, fair enough. Pass is not the correct answer. So
all right, here
we go. Clue number 5. Somebody once told me, "The world is gonna roll me."
Yeah, Smash Mouth.
That is.
And I bet the remaining amount.
You must bet the remaining amount of your dollars, which is
87.
And Smash Mouth is, of course, the correct answer. Congratulations. Whoops, these need to be full cells. Whoops.
Okay, so the amount won is half. So let's just say we can do halves as well.
Sure, why not?
So it's going to be 43.5. And so my total score now goes up to 42.5. All right, well, that was a bad start.
Yeah, I mean, hey, we're just getting our feel for it. Who's to say that I am not going to bet 4 straight dollars and then 96 foregoing my purpose spin.
You would be in first place if you did that.
Just to be in the lead. What an interesting strategy, only risking just enough to maintain a slight edge. But that could backfire on me the moment that you get one on the third guess or something. So anyway, let's
All right,
begin.
Ready?
Yep.
Clue 1. I was invented in 1957.
Wow, another date right off the bat, and that's really helpful for me, because it's not helpful for me in the context of this question because there's a lot of stuff in there then, but it is helpful because it makes me feel good about how I was writing these clues. Because at the time I was thinking like, man, I don't know if these are any good. 1957. I am going to go with the. This is definitely not correct. Oh no, the stapler.
You have to bet some amount of money first.
Right. I'm going to bet $1 that it is a stapler.
That is not correct.
All right, as expected.
And I like that, like, with this one, you can make your guess, and as long as the other person still remembers that you haven't bet yet, it's, like, still okay. Like, in the other game, once you play the game, it's, like, too late.
Yeah.
So, all right. Very good. Stapler. Nice guess. Not correct. Clue number 2. I am not for small children.
Ooh, you're not for small children. So this could be some kind of tool, some kind of like dangerous tool. It could be like an alcoholic beverage of some sort. What else is not for children? It could be a car. Could be some kind of machinery. Let's see. I am going to go ahead and guess 1957, though. That's not that old in terms of like tools and stuff. Because I'm thinking it's probably something like a tool, like a common household tool. It also could be that it's not like dangerous for children. It's just something that a child wouldn't want to use, like a printer or a router.
Alcoholic beverage.
Alcoholic beverage. Alcohol is not dangerous for children. I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure you can just give kids as much alcohol as they want. Cause
Yeah, that's why in other countries there's no like minimum drinking age.
right.
Just they just get anyone can drink.
It's just
And that's because it's not dangerous. It's just
puritanical
big
country.
It's big soda in the U.S.
Exactly.
Wants alcohol to only be for adults.
Absolutely. So in the spirit of sticking it to big soda, I am going to
Wager an amount of money, right?
correct. So I'm going to first wager $1 because I'm not feeling great about this guess. I'm going to follow up that $1 wager with the Manhattan cocktail. Invented in
Okay,
1957.
good guess. It is
Famously.
not a Manhattan. All right. So definitely left turn from the first guess.
Yes.
Um,
We're still floundering here, but
Which, by the way, is
okay.
interesting. Like mine, every single one of my guesses, except for Pass, was a musical artist.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of
Um,
homed in on what it was really quickly, and then I think the clues were difficult to zero in on a particular.
Well, frankly,
Band.
part of the issue is I don't like know anything about Smash Mouth.
Sure.
All right. Let's go to clue number 3. Would
Yeah.
you like to buy a spin?
I am going to hold off on my spin for now. I do
All right.
plan to buy a spin, but probably the next round. Hopefully I'm
Fair
not giving
enough.
away too much strategy with
When you
that.
say the next round, you mean the next
the next
clue,
clue,
right?
yes.
Yeah, okay. Clue number 3. I have over 100 individual pieces.
Ooh, that's a lot of pieces, and that pushes me much more toward a machine of some sort.
Hmm.
And this could be something like a phone or a computer or something, because like 1957 is too late for a phone. But like some kind of computer, or it could be like another mechanical, like an electromechanical device of some sort. A lot of the devices that I'm thinking of, actually, the one thing that popped to mind as having a bunch of pieces and being from around that era potentially is like pinball machines, but that would be for children, or like appropriate for children. So I don't know, just tossing that out there as a fun thing that it
Sure.
might have been, but it's definitely not.
For sure.
So I'm gonna go ahead and bet $3 that this is the world's first computer.
World's first computer is not correct.
Okay, all right. Before you give this next clue, here is where I'm gonna buy my spin.
Great. Let's go to the Wheel of Fortune.
The Wheel of Fortune.
We should have some like chant, like Wheel of Fortune.
I like it. Let's do that. Let's do that every time.
All right. You got respin plus optional respin on opponent's next respin.
Ooh, so I will be able to potentially change what your spin is next turn. That's fun.
Yes.
So, yeah,
All
hit
right.
me
So
with
here's
that
your
respin.
here's your respin. Go to jail.
Oh no!
Sorry. You're in jail.
I'm in jail. All right. Well, go ahead and.
Well, you don't. Sorry, just to be clear, you don't have get out of jail free, right?
I do not. I am truly in
Okay.
jail.
Rip. All right, you are in jail. So clue number 4 is my name is also a word sometimes associated with investing. And now you're gonna enter. Now you're gonna enter my clue 4 land, which is like I cannot think of a single thing that actually fits this.
All right. Well, let me try. So, with investing, you have stocks, you have bonds, you have like a broker, an exchange. Exchange. Could it be like the switchboards for the phones? You know.
Yeah, and just to be clear, he's doing a little motion of
Right.
plugging in switches.
Plugging and unplugging, being the world's worst operator, just jiggling the cord in and out rapidly so that the people are only catching every other word. Investing. There's also like interest you get from investing. There is... What else has 100 pieces? Over 100 pieces. I think this is difficult because I'm not narrowing in on things. I'm just guessing things
Yep.
that have like this clue. Oh, I could come up with some guesses for that. This clue, I can come up with some guesses for that. But there's no. I'm not finding the pieces that tie it together.
Well, I think the first 3 clues were fine. Like, the invented in 1957 gives you some information about it,
Yeah.
right? And you went a certain way with it.
Yeah.
And then the second clue gives you more information that made you say, oh, the way that I went was wrong. Here's another, like, there's still several options, but here's one way I could go with it.
Right.
And the third clue made you say, oh, that way that I went was wrong. I'm still narrowing down because, like, it's more information.
Right.
This clue didn't really help you narrow down. It's more like, if you think of the word, you'll probably get it. Unless you don't like put 2 and 2 together, I would say. But
Right.
if you don't think of the word, it only tells you that every other thing you're thinking is wrong.
Yeah, very similar to the body part clue, I guess. Because if you even said mouth,
Yep.
but it didn't come to you, and so therefore,
Nope. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, actually, this is going almost identically. All right, do you want to pass like I did?
I'm not gonna pass. I'm gonna try for a few more seconds here to put 2 things together. I am going to bet $3 just in case I get something. I strike on something here.
Uh-huh.
Investing. What else happens when you invest? You deposit. You wait. Your money gets bigger. Your money might
Or
get smaller.
Yeah.
Only if you're a scrub. I'm a good investor. I've never lost money once. Let's see. There are like investors as a person. There's venture capital. There's I already said stocks, I think. All right, I'm gonna get this isn't right almost certainly, but I'm gonna guess exchange like I said before because that's the only thing that I've come up with that's like kind of fits both.
That is not correct.
All right, I suspected as much.
All right. Clue number 5. When people play me, it often takes hours.
Ah, wait. Is this 1957? Yeah, this is, well, really? 1957? I guess you're talking about, like, when Parker Brothers published? I guess you're not going to give anything away until I say...
I'm not going to tell you
Monopoly
anything.
locked in.
Ugh. Sadly, the answer is not Monopoly.
It's not? Are you kidding me?
No.
Wait a minute.
The answer is Risk.
Risk. Oh.
I actually didn't realize that Monopoly fit almost every other clue. I feel bad.
Wow, that's tragic, but that's why we have this row where you can
Oh no.
write the answer without bolding something.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right,
I
so-
apologize. Sort of. I mean, wow. Monopoly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, to be fair to you, writing the clues, Monopoly is not really about investing.
Right.
Monopoly is a finance thing.
Yeah, but no,
so
I
it's
can
more of
totally
a
see how
stretch than risk.
once you think about it, it's like, duh. Oh, yeah, that's a money related thing. So like honestly, like my experience of guessing for the first round was like, I don't know how exactly this has to fit the clues. I'm not trying to strictly think like Izzo's, like the example was the first clue where you said it was born,
Sure.
and like obviously a musical group isn't really born per se.
Yeah, I
not that-
will say
so,
some
like-
of my clues are a little bit like metaphorical in a way.
Right, and that's
They're not all
fine. That's
literal.
fine. So that's why I could see you like thinking of Monopoly and being like, yeah, it loosely fits that clue. So that's
Sure.
probably right. So
Sure.
all right, well, that is the first round. Poor performance by both of us.
We
The,
come to
the
a
score after round one is 42.5 for me and 1 for Nathan.
This game is trending strongly in a
All
Jewel
right.
the Game kind of way. So here we go.
Yeah.
Round,
Let's see
two. And I'm looking up and noticing that we're already at 50 minutes, so I don't know if you want to...
Oh, fuck.
Should we prematurely call it after like 3 or 4 rounds?
Why don't we set a time limit and finish whatever round we're on once we get to that time limit?
Cool. What do you want to say?
I'm honestly, I don't know, hour 15, hour 20? What do you
Hour
think?
20. That gives us another half
Alright.
hour of just gameplay because we did
Yeah.
goof off.
And sometimes we
quite a bit.
release long episodes.
Yeah.
All right. Let's be efficient. Give me clue number 1.
Clue number 1. I am named after where I am.
Oh, okay. Let me bet $1. Let me bet $2.
Whoa.
Because there's a limited number of things that could fit here. And let's go with the Boston Marathon.
That is an excellent guess, but it is incorrect.
Darn.
Yeah, wow. I mean, I don't know what I expected. That's a thing that's named after where it is. So, all right, number 2, and this is going to surprise you because this is also true of the Boston Marathon, but I promise that's
Uh-oh.
not the right answer.
I'm gonna guess Boston Marathon again, or I'm just gonna guess like New York Marathon or something.
All right, here is clue 2. I am longer than I am tall.
Okay, longer than I am tall. Kind of makes me think of a river. What rivers are named after where they are? Or maybe a road. Could be a road. I'm gonna bet $2, and I'm gonna guess the Pennsylvania Turnpike.
Pennsylvania Turnpike is another really great guess, and it is also incorrect.
Okay,
All right.
great. Next
Here we go.
Next one.
Any spins? You're gonna have to interrupt, I suppose, if you want to.
No, I think I'm definitely gonna hold off on my spin for number. I now think that I have almost no chance to get it on number 3 either. So let's
All right.
hear it.
Well, I don't know. This is gonna point you probably in a good direction. Clue 3: you could put a car on me safely.
Okay, so it's not a river. Still makes me think it's a road. But most roads are not named based on where they are. Okay, what else could be besides a road? Can you read the second clue again?
The second clue is I am longer than I am tall.
Longer than I am tall. What is long? Could be like a building, I guess, of some kind. Most buildings are longer than they are tall, I guess. Most buildings aren't really long, though, so that doesn't make a ton of sense. Alright, I'm still thinking it's a road. Let's think about that for just another minute. Are there any roads that I can think of that are named after where they are? I mean, I can think of at least one more. But I feel like you wouldn't think of that. And for the record, I'm thinking of the Garden State Parkway, which is a highway in New Jersey.
New Jersey, the Garden State. Gardens are
Oh,
Definitely
maybe it's
what I
like
think of when I think of
maybe
New
it's like
Jersey.
the oh, you know what? I actually think I might have it. So I'm gonna guess like or bid like bet like what's the multiplier here? 20. I'm gonna bet $10, and I'm
Whoa.
gonna guess the Brooklyn Bridge.
The Brooklyn Bridge is just simply an incredible guess. I almost can't imagine a better one. It's not correct.
All right, I'm feeling really close, so I'm gonna buy my spin now.
All right, let's hit the wheel of
Oh,
fortune.
fortune. All right. The spin says rename the podcast, which I believe means answer the question: if you had to rename the podcast, what would you name it?
Yes.
Which is an excellent question. I think that I would name it simply Alex and Alex, the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Great. So, and you might be wondering, what does this have to do with the game? Nothing is the answer. Some of them have nothing to do with the game. All right. So let's hear clue number 4.
All right, here we go. Clue number 4 is the Navy wanted me to be black and yellow, but I'm international orange. Feel free to look up what that color is if you'd like.
Well, I'm colorblind, so I'm sure it won't help.
Yeah. I didn't know this was the name of the color, but I did understand.
Can I look up other things?
I want you to specifically... Actually, I'm not sure if I want you to look up
No, I'm not
international
going to
orange
look it
because
up. I'm not even going to look it up. I'm not even going to look it
The
up.
thing.
Um,
I'll just describe it for you. It's kind of like a reddish orange color.
Yeah. So, that's interesting. So obviously the U.S. Navy was involved with this thing. The fact that it was made International Orange kind of makes me think that it's like the International Space Station or something like that. I'm not really sure if you could put a car on the International Space Station safely, though. At least in its current location. Plus, the internet... Well, actually, that is named after its location. I'm kind of liking that. What else is the... And I don't know if the U.S.
Sorry,
Navy was involved in creating that,
It
but...
didn't sink into me that the International Space Station is named after where it is.
Okay, well, what you just said makes me think that it's not the
there you
International
go.
Space Station.
Free clue. It's not the International.
That's good to know,
Space
because I was
Station.
actually seriously considering guessing that.
Yeah, that's kind of hilarious, though, for me to say I'm named after where I am, and it's just the space station.
Well, because my first thought was, I mean, international isn't really a place, but it is not in any nation. And then I was like, oh, space, duh.
Space, of course.
Okay. Now, Navy kind of makes me think it's a boat of some kind. I guess it could be a plane. The color is really unhelpful to me. Since I'm colorblind, this is like this is like an ableist, I feel like, clue. Well, the Navy part is helpful.
I tried to put a couple of keys in here.
Most like ships are named after like states or people, but they move around. So I really feel like that clue is not. It's not a ship. Maybe it's like a military building of some kind. And it's orange, and it's named after its location. Kind of thinking like the White House or the Pentagon, but that's not named after its location, and it's not orange or red.
The International Orange House.
Damn. It's probably in the U.S., right? The Navy. I guess maybe it doesn't have to be the U.S. Navy is the thing. It just says the Navy. So it could be in another country, and that country's Navy made it. Let's see. Navy also makes me think of water somehow. Like, I'm thinking of, like, the Sydney Opera House, although I can't imagine how any Navy would have any naming over that.
Yeah, imagine if they painted that black and yellow.
Maybe it's like a fort or something. Thinking of like Alcatraz, but that's also... I guess it's on Alcatraz Island. So that could be it. Let's see. Does that fit the other clues? It is longer than it is tall. What was the third clue?
The car. You could put a car on it safely.
Is it Alcatraz?
You can type that in to lock it in, and I'll let you know.
Oh, and I have to bet some amount, too.
Yep.
I'm not feeling super confident about this, so I'm going to bet 5.
All right, $5 for Alcatraz. It is not Alcatraz.
Darn.
All right, here we go. Number 5.
Number 5 again.
Which we've just learned is not foolproof. All right, clue 5 is I connect to San Francisco.
So, thinking it's the Golden Gate Bridge. How is that named after where it is? Oh, there is a Navy base there. Okay, I'm gonna guess the Golden Gate Bridge.
All right, since this is all the rest of your money, I don't need to request that you type a name down because it is in fact the Golden Gate Bridge. So yeah, this is a fun fact. I thought of this as a thing, and then I was looking at its Wikipedia page to figure out like what clues I could give about it, and I learned that the stretch of water that the Golden Gate Bridge crosses is called the Golden Gate.
Ah.
Because it's the like entry to the harbor to California, the Golden State.
The Golden State. Okay.
Yes.
I would not have pulled that out.
Yeah, I didn't know that until today, so we all learned something.
All right. Well, I earned $38, which brings me up to $80.5.
Wow, that is huge. I am going to have a big round.
Yeah, it's a pretty insurmountable lead.
Yeah, hit me with some clues.
Let's move on to clue 2 for you. In Alex's opinion, my name is pretty dumb.
I'm really glad we're coming out of the gate with a clue 1 that's just like your opinion.
Yep.
All right.
I think this is a great clue 1, by the way. It tells you almost nothing off the bat, but with other clues, it'll probably be very helpful.
All right. I'm gonna bet $3 on this for absolutely no reason. My guess is gorilla.
Oh, that is not correct. Good
Darn.
guess. Clue number 2. I briefly trended on Twitter.
Ooh, well, that could have happened at any time since like 2007 or whatever. So,
Well, that narrows it down a lot.
Yeah, it's recent enough to have existed simultaneously with Twitter. It must be like relevant also to have trended, like a pop culture thing. And for you to think its name is dumb means it's probably some like thing or some event maybe that got a nickname. It could be like one of those like something gate scandals.
Sure.
I don't know why I'm so fixated on like something gate and trying to think of what all the like dumb gate things are.
I mean, it's as good as anything else to fixate on since you don't know that much about it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to bet $3 just in case I strike it rich here, and guess Deflate Gate.
Deflate Gate. Good guess. That is
Yes.
not correct. Do you want to use your spin? Buy your spin?
Not yet. I'm gonna try
All right.
and get more help. Actually, you know what? I am gonna use my spin. I take it back. I'm
All
using
right.
my spin. Here we go.
Very good. Here's the
Spin
spin.
me up.
You got can bet from bank. All right, you have an additional $1 to bet if
I have
you
an
wish.
additional $1 to bet. All right. Well, read me the clues so I can decide whether it's worth using it or not.
Yep. Clue number 3. I have multiple sequels.
You have multiple sequels. So you think the name is dumb, and it trended on Twitter, and it has multiple sequels. So it's probably a fairly recent movie franchise or possibly like TV or book franchise, but I feel like that's a little less likely. I don't know why, but movie strikes me as much more trendable than like a TV series or something like that. I mean, maybe if it's some like major HBO thing or whatever that like Game of Thrones was really big for a long time, right? But what movies have come out with silly names that trended on Twitter? My new fixation is just the Fast and the Furious movies, which, I don't know, the names aren't that dumb. I guess some of them got pretty dumb. There's like Fast Five. I don't know any others.
The two he knows are the Fast and the Furious and Fast Five. Those are the only two names he knows in the franchise.
There's also... No, I don't even... I was going to say, like, there's also the one that, like, was the most recent one where they, like, made it end, right? Where it was, like... But I don't even know what name I was going to say. I don't know the name of it. All right. I'm going to bet another $3, and for the record, none of those dollars come from my bank. This is just
That's what I was going to ask.
I'm leaving that dollar in there for pride, if nothing else, and I'm going to guess... Oh, it's The Fate of the Furious. That's what it's called. That's not my guess. I'm just remembering the name of the movie.
One of the names, yeah.
Right. Is that the 8th one? Fate? F8?
I honestly will not say anything.
All right. I'm just gonna guess Fast and Furious 7, whatever it's called.
Okay.
It's a risky
It is not
guess.
It is not Fast and Furious 7 parentheses whatever it's called. Clue number 4.
All right.
I appeared in theaters for one night only.
Whoa. One night only. One night only?
This is the classic Clue 4 where it eliminates any of your thing you can think of.
Yeah, I feel like it's just been a trend of like the Clue 4s is like so close. So as soon as you hear the next clue, you're like, oh yeah, it had to have been that, of course. But just the fact that it wipes out all guesses from your mind is very, very frustrating.
All right, I'm looking at my other questions while you're doing this to see
just
like,
to check if that's the trend.
I actually think that that's not the case for most of these, thankfully. So
okay, that's good. One night only, so it could have been like a live event, like people showing in theaters, an actual thing that was just like released, and then it was done, right? Or it.
And honestly, because this is so hard, I will help you a little bit and say that this is also a clue that I found on the Wikipedia page of the answer. I did not know that this appeared in theaters for one night only previous to that.
So there's nothing necessarily like inherent to the nature of it that would have made it obvious that it was there for one night only. It's
correct.
Possibly...
I think it just kind of tells you it's not just like a normal movie franchise.
Yeah.
Or movie, I would say.
Yeah, but it has several sequels. That's super weird.
That is super weird. How about that? And it has a dumb name, too.
Weird. And it has a name that, in your opinion, is dumb. And it trended on Twitter. All right. I guess maybe based on a technicality, could I say that this happened, like, before it was renamed to X? Not that that's important. I don't actually need you to answer that, but...
If you think that would help you come up with a guess.
I mean, it certainly doesn't, let's be clear. I'm going to once again bet $3 on this. And I'm going to guess that this was a Christmas special of some sort that was in theaters on Christmas Day and then it obviously doesn't make sense to show that on other days. Probably, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
What's a really dumb name? Whatever the Marvel, whatever the Avengers like Christmas special is, I don't even know if that exists.
All right. Well, regardless of whether or not it exists, it is not the correct answer. Clue
All right.
numero 5.
Perfect.
Uh,
What are we at? $88
I
for the remaining guess?
I feature a very unusual natural disaster.
A very unusual natural disaster. So it could be...
You can do it. I believe in you.
Natural disaster. It was only in theaters for one day. It had multiple sequels. All right. I'm going to, with my $88, really, really put all my faith in the fact that this natural disaster is a tornado full of sharks. I'm going to guess Sharknado.
That is correct. Well
Yes! Oh, I am on the board.
done. Well, you were on the board before with $1.
Without stealing $1 from you.
First earned money of the game.
Yes. Incredible.
Well
So
done.
that pulls
The correct
us
answer was
roughly
Sharknado.
even.
Yes. So anyway, yeah, the movie was in theaters in like 200 theaters for one night.
That's crazy. How did it get so huge if it was only in theaters for a night?
Well, it was mostly on TV actually.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it got so popular, it got so famous because of Twitter. It was clue number 2.
Fair
People were
enough.
just like, there were several celebrities that like tweeted about it and it went viral.
Wow, and so you think Sharknado is a dumb name?
It's such a dumb name.
That's like the perfect name. I know exactly what's going on.
It's so uncreative, like Sharknado. Okay.
It is uncreative.
Anyway.
I will grant you that it is uncreative, but I think it's just enough to be like, yeah, I mean, it's a Sharknado. Of course it is.
And to be clear, I actually don't think it's like a terrible name, especially because the movie is really bad. I think it kind of like matches the like vibe of the movie, but it is a dumb name.
Fair
All
enough.
right. After round 2, I am in the lead, 80.5 to 45. Still, no one has gotten anything before clue number 2 or clue number 5. I mean. So let's move on. We're at an hour 12, so this will probably be the last round.
Yeah. Let me try and pick my best remaining one.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick my best one too.
All right, I like this one, and I feel like there's a chance that you get it before Clue 5 to really spice up this last round. So here we go. Question 3, Clue 1. You have never and probably will never use me.
You have never and probably will never use me. Yeah, so let's go with $1.
Strong.
And my guess will be, what's something that I will, actually the will probably never does make it slightly interesting. Like, I'm trying to think of like maybe it's in a place that I will never go. Maybe it's something that I would never use as a man. I'm gonna guess tampon.
Interesting guess. I like it. It is incorrect.
Darn.
Yeah. All right.
Let's hear the next clue.
I just realized that I did my math poorly on the last round because I did buy a spin without marking it down. So in
classic
fact, I only
blunder.
had $83 to bet, which means rather than $44, I only won 41 and a half. So apologies to all the listeners who have been screaming at us for doing our math incorrectly, but it is currently 80.5 to 42.5.
A real barn burner.
Yeah. Back to question 3, clue 2. I am never inside.
Never inside.
Never inside.
And I will probably never use it. Makes me think that it's like something too big to be inside. Like even cars like are inside sometimes. Or something that's just like logically impossible to be inside, like outside.
I was kind of tempted. Maybe this slightly gives away my methodology on writing my clues, but I was slightly tempted on making one of my clues, or at least some of my clues for some of these, so specifically, I am not thing, to make you think that like, oh, well, if it's not thing, then it's thing that is not thing, but like relevant. And that would have been the correct answer. I don't know if this makes any sense.
I am not following that.
All right,
but,
never mind. Forget it.
Okay. I am never inside. Also kind of implies that the thing either the thing can move or there's multiple of them. So like, you know. Oh my gosh. Okay. Makes me think it's like, I don't know, not a plant. Something I can use though. Well, not I, but someone can use. It's gonna be the Golden Gate Bridge again, isn't it?
That actually would be really funny. Just come up with two completely separate sets of clues for the same thing.
Yeah. I'm kind of thinking of like something like my main instinct is that it's a specific thing that can move, that's never inside, and I will probably never use it. Let's go with the International Space Station again, as an actual guess this time, and I will bet $2 on this. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot.
$2 on the ISS is not correct. Sadly, those $2 are gone forever.
Rip. Well, unless I buy my spin here and get the spin that brings that back.
That's true. That's possible. I should never say never. Speaking of spins, is that this round?
No.
Feeling
I'll
lucky?
save you for 4 this time.
All right, here we go. Clue number 3. I have a standardized size.
Okay, so it's not a specific thing. I will never use it. It's never inside. Standardized size. Okay, could be like a football field. But I don't know how you would say I would never use it, because I mean, like I have used a football field before. Maybe it's like an Olympic swimming pool. I feel like Olympic swimming pool usually just means like Olympic size swimming pool, not like one that was used in the Olympics. I feel like it's kind of makes me think, well, that's also inside. It's kind of makes me think, the clues kind of make me think of like some kind of sports field. And can you say it again? You know, the last clue?
The last clue is I have a standardized size.
Huh. See, I kind of want to say like a specific stadium, but stadiums don't have standardized sizes. Like the fields inside them do. Kind of makes me want to say like the Purdue's basketball court or something, which is like Keedy Court or Katie Court or something like that.
Yep.
But that seems like almost impossible that could be the answer. But it fits all the clues, so I'm going to guess that. I'm going to bet $5 on Keedy Court.
All right. Well, I feel like I've been very complimentary of your guesses, so I feel like it is in my rights to just straight up say this is a bad guess because Katie Court is always inside.
Oh,
rather than
fuck.
never inside.
No.
So, of course, it is
Damn,
not
nope.
not correct.
Yeah, that is, yep. Okay, fair enough. I'm going to use my spin here.
All right, we got a spinner.
So if you want to put the 5 in there, I will make my spin.
Yep.
All right. I got spin random legal bet.
Ooh, that is incredible.
Do you have a simple means of generating a random number between 1 and 87?
I can do rand times 87, and then we just round that to... I suppose we need to do rand 87 plus 1.
Is there not a rand int?
There's not a rand int in Sheets, apparently. I could, like...
Rand between.
Oh, rand between. That's what we need. I was going to say, we have that in Joel the Game, so it makes sense.
187. All right, I got 9. My bet is 9.
All right. Well, not the worst bet you could have on a clue 4. I am going to give you the clue because that's what you have to do. Clue number 4 is clue number 4 is I counteract a risk.
I counteract a risk. What? I'm never inside. I will probably never use it. I am a standardized size and I counteract a risk. Okay, makes you think like... Honestly, my first thought was insurance, but that really makes no sense. Kind of makes me think seatbelt, but that's always inside a car. What counteracts a risk that I have never used and probably will never use? No fucking clue. And is never inside. You know, it could just be like a totally conceptual thing, and the clue never inside is totally meaningless. And it counteracts a risk.
I think for the record that I'm never inside should at least have a metaphorical meaning here, if I'm going to give that as a clue.
Well, I don't mean that it's a meaningless clue. Like, for example, if the answer was like the boss, I don't know, that's a bad answer. If the answer was like Pennsylvania.
Sure.
Well, if the answer was like an idea, I guess an idea we say it's inside your head, but you could argue it's never inside anything since it doesn't have it's not a physical thing. Anyway, I don't think that's... I don't really think that's the case. I really think it probably is a physical thing that is never inside. And by inside, I assume you mean like a building.
Sure.
Or,
yeah, just saying that for the future record, I guess, more so than like a helpful thing for this clue.
Yeah. Standard size. Not inside. Counteracts a risk. What? I don't even know what that means. I mean, I know what that means. What other kind of risks do you take? Could it be like a bungee cord? Ooh, a parachute? No, parachutes are inside. Bungee cords can be inside. I guess maybe when the idea is when you open a parachute, you're never inside, but still, you could open a parachute inside. Parachutes definitely are inside. That seemed like a decent guess, though. What else counteracts a risk? What other kind of risks? Could be like something maybe honestly, I think of like an amusement park, which is almost always outside, and not really a standardized size, though. Standard size. What's a standard size? It's never outside, counteracts a risk, or never inside, counteracts a risk. Wow. I'm just gonna pass. I have no idea.
All right, final clue. You could always purchase another spin, or you can bet your remaining
I'm gonna bet my remaining amount and count on the fact that you won't get yours.
dollars.
Thank you.
The final clue is my job is to put out water.
Oh. So it's probably a fire hydrant. Let me just think about that for a second. It's never inside. It counteracts a risk. I have never and probably will never use one. And it's a standard size. Okay, let's go with fire hydrant.
Fire hydrant is correct. Good job.
Beautiful. Well, the streak continues. Since it's 39. Oh, that's not the answer. That's the amount that I won. Let's bold that, and that brings my total up to 119.5.
Wow. So I know what my job is, and that job is to earn like 80 points on this round somehow. Means
Yeah,
I basically have to get it before the
I was gonna
fifth
say
one.
you can't. Yeah, you have to get it for the fifth one. I'll give you two options. I have one that's like the clues are more creative, and I have one that's probably just a better one in general. Which would you prefer?
I was with the creative clues until you said the other one. You described the other one as just better, so I'm a little wary.
Yeah, I mean it's creative clues, but I actually, frankly, have no idea how easy or difficult the creative clue one is going to be. Like it could. It's one of the
Yeah.
So
that maybe that's just what I need to risk it all. Is give me some creative clues that I might be able to luck into some early answer.
So is that the one you're picking then?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Hit me with clue number one.
Clue number one. I share a name with a company.
You share a name with a company. That could be because the company makes the thing and just like it's named after the company. Like the company that makes I'm struggling to think of literally any example.
Yeah, I don't know that there's a lot of examples of that.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna bet. It almost doesn't matter. I think as long as I bet more than $40-ish on clue 4. So let's go for style points. I'm gonna bet $10 on my first guess.
Trying to win 20,000 to 100.
Yeah, my first guess is Whirlpool.
Okay, that is not correct.
All right.
Good guess though. Clue
Yeah.
number 2. I share a name with a building.
Wow. All right. So we've now got a building and a company sharing the name. That could be related. It could be just that the company and the building have generic names.
Could be.
I'm trying to think of buildings and companies that I know the names of, right? Because I feel like...
And I will give you an extra clarification because I really want you to see if you can get it. It's not a specific building name. Like it's not like the Empire State Building.
Oh, interesting. Because that's 100% the direction that I was going.
I know.
Yeah. So, is there a share a name with a building, but it's not the building itself? I would imagine. Otherwise, you're not saying you share the.
Well,
name.
it is. Yeah, it's the same name as the building. So, like, if you said the name of the building, you would be saying the answer. But the thing itself is also something separate from the building.
Right. That's what I'm having a hard time coming up with. Is like a bakery is kind of inherently the building that is the bakery. In my mind, at least.
Sure.
Like, I guess
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be strictly speaking, but I don't know. I'm just picturing like the platonic ideal bakery, and it's you know, in a downtown kind of old. All the buildings are attached, right, with the apartments above, and there's just like the little cafe that you can go into, and it's an old couple that owns the bakery together, and they make like really good muffins, and everybody goes there at like 5 a.m. because the muffins sell out really. So it's not a bakery, is what I'm saying. I think.
That was so deep into the platonic ideal of bakery.
All right. For even continuing my style points attempt, I'm going to bet $10 here. And what other building types are there? And companies also. Let me think of that one too. Bank? There's not really a company called Bank, right? I guess there's a lot of banks called Bank, sort of. There's a warehouse. There's a school building. There's a police station. There's a house. There's an apartment. Building types. There's a church. Could be like a... It's not a specific building. That's the thing that's throwing me off. It's like, it could be the, Empire State Building was 100% the thing I was thinking of. So I'm really, really confused. I guess I'm going to guess school.
Okay, school is not correct.
All right. Didn't think so.
Would you like to purchase a spin?
I'm torn between trying to get helpful information here to give me like extra information for 2 clues potentially versus extra information for just 1 clue.
Sure.
But I also don't want this to be something that's specifically helpful to this clue because I feel like my only chance is to get it on the next clue.
Sure.
But I've been taking risks, and it certainly hasn't paid off, which means I'm due. Hit me with that wheel spin.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Fortune.
Fingers crossed for multiple choice. What did I get?
Swap current clue and clue 4.
Hey, that's actually super helpful.
All right.
That's incredible. So I'm getting the clue that I thought I would get it on.
Clue number 4. I share a name with a color/shade.
Ooh. Now that is curious. That is very interesting.
So just to clarify, so far we have I share a name with a company, I share a name with a building, and I share a name with a color/shade.
Right. So are there any colors that I can think of that are also buildings and companies? Blue. No. Red? Don't think so. Gray. Gray feels closest, but not red.
And I will just for no apparent reason, throw out the color/shade.
/shade. So, I mean, it's probably not a basic color, right? It's probably not like orange. It's probably something more like teal or chartreuse or maroon or something like that. So what kind of buildings and companies are there that are like a shade? Like eggshell. Is an egg a building?
And I will say a lot of a shade could be like a shade of a color. So like it might be blank red or blank green or blank blue, like that kind of thing.
Interesting. So like light blue or dark blue or yellow,
sky blue.
Sky blue. Adjective.
Like that's
adjective
so
word.
I'll tell you it's not sky, but that's kind of what I mean by shade.
Sure, like sky blue, like navy blue, like I can only think of shades of blue. What are other shades? Pale blue. I suppose like sea green, maybe. Uh, Now, this is a really interesting clue, and I do want to pause here while I'm thinking about this to say that now that I have clue 4 caliber clue on clue 3, I can bet like $4 to get 80 points here, and then I can have a bunch left over to get to 80 points on the next clue also.
Excuse me.
So it's kind of like I have 2 chances. This is the best case scenario, and I really feel like I have to do it now. And I'm just... What colors are there? But not more so than what colors are there. Like, what buildings are just named a color, right? Like,
Or a shade, really.
or a shade. Like, or a company.
Yeah. This is, yeah. You can see why I was like, I'm not really sure how hard, I'm not really sure how difficult this is going to be.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I'm just waiting for the piece that makes it all click together.
It's going to be clue 5 is the piece that's going to make it all click together. I can tell you that right now.
That is a shame because that's going to be too late, of course.
Yeah.
What do we have? There's like polar white, sunset orange, I don't know. I'm trying to think of like crayon colors, you know?
Mm-hmm. Like macaroni and cheese.
Macaroni and cheese is not a crayon color.
Yes, it is.
This is we've litigated this already.
Well, we argued about whether it's a good crayon color, but you can't argue that it is a crayon color. It definitely is. There are crayons with that on it.
There shouldn't be. So I gave myself an interesting... No, but that doesn't fit the building. That's bizarre. How could it be a building and a color?
What was the interesting one?
So the interesting thing was I was just thinking like Brown is like a name, right? So you can just have like a company called like Steve Brown or whatever, Brown and Sons, right. You know? That's what I'm thinking of is like it could be that, except the thing that it is like a shade of brown, like camel brown or something like that. But something brown is not a building. I don't think.
Sad.
I can't think of a building that's something brown.
You want to pass? Get the next clue?
I really hate it, but I feel like I've been stuck here for too long, so I'm going to bet $1 and pass.
Yeah, unfortunately, I doubt this is going to help you a ton. Clue number 3.
Yeah.
I share a name with a condition.
You share a name with a condition. A condition?
What could that mean? This one, I can't tell you what it means more specifically without giving it away, so...
Right. A condition could be like an affliction, like an illness. A condition could be like a conditional statement kind of condition, where it's like a true or false statement, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of like being a state of condition in a way. Wow, that's really not describing that well.
Yeah.
I guess I'm going to have to bet... If I bet 39, does that get me there or does that not? I also need to put down that I spent $5 on a clue.
It doesn't matter. Just bet the rest of your money, because if you don't get it here, you lose.
Yeah, that's true. Do I have enough left over to... No, because I bet $10 on the first two. That was not smart, because I could probably afford a second spin if I had $92. Because that would have totally worked. I could have bought 2 spins here, except for my bold bets trying to win 20,000 to 119. But if I pulled it off, that would have been legendary. That would have been incredible. All right, but I'm obviously not going to get this. I'm going to struggle for a little bit longer. Company, condition, building, and color/shade.
Yeah, and obviously I've been hinting at this. I'll just tell you, it's a shade of a color.
Right, of course. Man, it feels like I've got enough information. And I think this is what all the Clue 4s feel like. But if you're not thinking of the thing, it's not pushing you toward it. It's just giving you enough, right? If you had thought it, you would confirm it by now. But if you didn't think it... All right, so I'm starting to think like, is there a style of house that is named after the style of building that it is?
You want an extra hint?
Is this making sense? Not yet. I feel like I'm onto
Okay.
something and I'm struggling to put it to words. Like, oh, it's like the phrase is like just out of reach for me. Where when you have the old style like house from like the 1800s or whatever, it's like a...
Like Victorian?
No, but it's like there's a color to it. Is it like brownstone? Is that what I'm trying to think of?
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah, where it's like the like old brick houses or whatever, and then there's like I don't know. That's maybe the closest I can think of to getting all of these things, but brownstone's not really a condition.
If you want an additional hint, I'll tell you what color the answer is a shade of.
All right, I feel like there should be some penalty associated with that.
Well, okay. You could just decline the hint and give up and go on to clue number 5 and lose if you really...
All right, if you're serving me a chance here, then
I'm rooting for you. I want you to get this one.
All right. Let me do the, what is this? 25, 26. So I will bet here 73 so that I have $1 left over for fun. And what's your clue?
It is a shade of green.
A shade of green. All right.
Yes.
So we've got like lime green. Leaf green. These aren't buildings. What else is a shade of green? Literally no shades of green are I thought this would be more helpful than it was. I thought.
All right, just give up. You want to give up? And I'll give you clue number 5.
Yeah, I can't even think of like a reasonable guess. Lime green.
Not lime. Clue number 5. I am a flavor.
What? Green apple? That's not a building. Green
is not in the answer.
What?
It's a shade... This word is like a shade of green, like blank green is a shade of green.
But the word green is not in the answer.
Correct. And, alright, I will lay this all out for you to see if you can get it.
Alright.
The company is called Blank Mobile. The building is called A Blank. The condition is called Blank Condition. The color or shade is called Blank Green. And it's a flavor.
Mint.
Well done.
Wow. What a series of things that I felt like none of them were easier or more difficult than the last. It's just that I kept aggregating more conditions to meet. and could not.
I thought that the shade would be more helpful.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you couldn't think of mint green.
I think I was just so insistent on it still containing the color itself.
Uh-huh. All right, well, that one was really hard.
The answer.
If you remember, if you remember, we discussed we'll forego a little bit of the difficulty guidelines if you can think of a creative way to come up with clues.
Right.
So that was kind of why I was like, this is probably on the harder side, but it's interesting. That was really, really difficult. No doubt about it.
Let's wrap this up.
Sorry about that.
We're experimenting. We're finding the groove
We are.
here. Final score. Congratulations to Alex for winning our inaugural Joel the Game Show with a score of 119.5 to 43. I did salvage my 50 cents by getting the correct answer on the last clue there. And here we are at an hour 45, so this has been a
quite the
episode. Yeah.
Wow. If you have listened to 95 minutes or whatever this is of Joel the 105 minutes of Joel the podcast,
yeah.
I applaud you. Send us an email. Nathan's applauding. Thank you.
Yep.
Seriously, for everyone who's listening, please send us an email and let us know what you thought of this game. Obviously, it needs some improvements. We need to get better at clue writing, I would say, for sure.
Yeah.
But let us know what you thought. Was it interesting? Was it really boring? Did you get any of the ones that we couldn't get? Maybe you were like, these guys are idiots. I got, Risk on clue number 3.
Maybe we designed a game show that we're both terrible at, but we could have guests on to play for fun.
Yeah. Send us an email. Let us know your thoughts. And thank you for listening. I'm Alex.
I'm Alex.
And this has been Joel.